Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats and prepare for some trick or treat.
Tonight on Exposure, Hallows Eve is upon us. First, gawk all you want. Just beware of the freak show. Then, trapped by her own web of deceit.
I wish every day were Halloween.
Careful what you wish for. Plus, Satan's got one hell of a hook, and nobody's spared. And Tim Burton's back with his Halloween classic, Vincent.
Exposure, Deadtime stories.
Downloading host profile, Lisa Marie. Star of such chilling films as Sleepy Hollow, Mars Attacks, and Ed Wood, in which she appeared as 50s Fright Night host, Vampira. Currently, she is co-creating a short film for the Walker Art Center.
This is Halloween on Exposure. And tonight, we've got a goodie bag full of tricks and treats that includes 5 all-new Deadtime stories. From the haunted to the horrendous, they're sure to make your skin crawl and put a smile on your face. The promise of endless candy is every trick-or-treater's dream. Or is it? In our first short, see how one little pumpkin's fantasy turns into a nightmare. That's the freak show.
Writer-director Marcus Wagner is a graduate of NYU Film School. He has worked as a film editor, a researcher for Ron Howard, and is currently head writer at Nickelodeon's Games and Sports Channel. He created Freak Show for Madison Square Garden, an annual extreme scream park.
Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats and prepare for some trick or treat.
Hallows Eve, treat your eyes to the tricks nature has played upon these beautiful oddities. Ah, what merry marks grace us this Hallows Eve.
Are you a freak?
Freak is an unkind word. I'm Mr. Fingers.
Yeah, well, I came to see some freaks.
Sorry, I think not. I don't like kitty cats.
Now can we go get more candy? No. I know another way in. Come on.
Candy.
Whatever.
Don't leave me here. Hey.
Hello, Joey.
And welcome to the Trick or Treat Hotel. Behind each door of my hotel, there waits a delicious treat. But for every treat you do not eat, you must give me a treat in return.
Trick or treat.
Illustrated wonders. Why, Joey, you remember our agreement, don't you? For every treat you do not eat, you must give me a treat in return.
Here, take it all. I'm stuffed.
But, Joey, I don't collect candy.
Still hungry?
Don't do it, Mr. Fingers! Don't do it! I'll keep eating! I'll keep eating! I'm not stuffed at all!
You're a good little pumpkin, Joey.
Go, Ugo, go. We will make him. We will make him just like us.
Here's our beautiful blow-off. The enigmatic 11th act.
What did you do to him?
He's one of us now, Sarah. I know you want to join us, Sarah. That's why you came here. You're fascinated, titillated. You want to be just like us.
No way, I'm not like you. I'm cute and you're all a bunch of freaks.
Well, then, I suppose curiosity is going to kill the kitty cat. And so, our tale is at an end. But since I consider each of you a friend, I give you this warning before you trick or treat. You are only what you eat.
Now the show is over, but please don't pout. Just get up and get out.
From Coney Island, here is director Marcus Wagner.
I love Halloween. Halloween's easily my favorite holiday, and I always wanted to do a Halloween story. And with the Freaks and Coney Island, I just wanted to do sort of a fable, really. That's the thing I love about Halloween. That's the thing I wanted to try and get back at with Freak Show, was just get back to that feeling as a kid where, you know, something can always just jump out of the corner and it's fun. To tell the truth, I am a huge scaredy cat. I just love the thrill of being scared. I love all that stuff, and it's good fun for most of the people who are scaring me. As much as I am a scaredy cat and I can get scared at stuff real easy, it's also a thrill. You know, there's nothing better than a good scare. I believe in it all. I believe in ghosts, goblins, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman. I believe in the whole thing. I would never want to be a person who doesn't believe in that stuff, because I just think it's too much fun not to.
Later, Tim Burton's Halloween stop-motion masterpiece, Vincent.
I thought it was Vincent basically. It's a children's book.
But first, Elvira meets Lily Munster in an itsy-bitsy spider story. When Exposure's Deadtime stories continue. Now, Exposure's Deadtime stories continue with host Lisa Marie.
The Black Widow spider is a lady after my own heart. She embodies all that is Halloween, offering her treats to trick unsuspecting lovers. In our next film, the sensuous spider is at it again, weaving her web of deceit. With 8 legs, there are plenty of sleeves to hide her tricks in this dark and poetic love story.
Made in a garage in Scotland on a limited budget, The Lonely Widow is writer-director John Gorman's first short film. He has since created a BBC children's series called Captain Abercrombie, which will premiere this fall. The Lonely Widow was nominated for a BAFTA, the British equivalent of the Academy Awards.
First was Percival. Number 2, Dear Hugh. Then Algernon and Sir Montague. Husbands, too many or too few? The widow has lost another husband, and the black and squeaky iron gate slams shut upon her churchyard fate. Lowered low into the cold embrace of snowy earth. Another lover leaving her once more to mourn, and then next dawn to contemplate a life alone. The dry and parched wind begins to moan. She needs a husband's kiss, a man with warmth to hold her in his arms. The widow has a gramophone. She lifts the arm and dances as a waltz begins to play, the eerie sound of last year's ball. When will another suitor come, in spring or fall? She picks her pen and starts to write. All through the night, a torrent is unleashed of words, imploring words. A summons to a man unknown. Her passion now quite flown. She sits and waits. Awaits the squeak of squeaky gates. Her love transforms into a terrible appetite, assuaged in the darkened room, lit only by the darkest light.
From Lower Manhattan, here is director John Gorman.
The story came about from something I'd read about Tim Burton's mind. Someone had once written that it was like a spidery attic. It was always the darker things I was always drawn to, you know. Vader being the dark guy, you know, you'd always be drawn to him. I think just baddies and dark things I find them pretty fascinating. The Black Widow legend is it's quite a horrible thing. It's almost like what many women in California do to their husbands. You know, you sort of, you know, they're wined and dined and all the money's there, and then you know, they divorce. And I love Halloween. I've spent a couple of Halloweens in the States, and I just think in the States they're so much bigger than they are in the UK.
Later, from the mind behind Beetlejuice comes an early Gothic delight. But first, if only every day could be Halloween.
This is the greatest day of the year and nothing can ruin it.
When exposure continues. Now, Exposure's Deadtime stories continue with host Lisa Marie.
What a treat it would be if Halloween were every day. In our next short film, find out why you must be careful what you wish for. The spirits of the holiday are raised to frightful proportions when one lonely man's fantasy gets fulfilled.
Fulfilled, a Halloween story, was written and directed by Stacy Arnold. Born and raised in Colorado Springs, California, Arnold studied film theory at San Francisco State University before finding work in the film industry as a production assistant and script supervisor. She wrote Fulfilled in one night, and it will next appear in the second annual International Festival of Darkness in Baltimore, Maryland.
Really, Wayne, it wouldn't kill you.
At least that would be interesting.
Fine. Spend the rest of your life hidden away in your creepy old shop. I'm going to have fun. With or without you.
Goodbye. Not trying to escape, I hope. Enjoying the view?
That's exactly what I mean. You talk to your creatures as if they were people, and you hide from your friends.
Samantha, smell that. It's Halloween. No other day of the year feels like this. I refuse to spend it with a bunch of drunken, horny idiots in gorilla suits. Kills the spirit of the holiday, so to speak.
You are crazy.
The only sane man in a mad world.
I won't miss you.
It's sacrilege. Gorillas, flappers, fairy godmothers. All Hallows Eve is about ghosts, ghouls, demons. Doors to the underworld open at midnight. You never know what will happen.
I do. You'll fall asleep, alone, again, waiting for the great pumpkin to rise.
Mock me if you must. This is the greatest day of the year and nothing can ruin it. I wish every day were Halloween.
I haven't seen that one before.
It's Harry. My latest. Kind of cute, huh?
He kind of looks like you. My nose itches.
It's okay. You're done.
Ah. Do you think this will ruin my chances with the drunken gorillas?
Back? Don't drive with your lens in. You can put it back in at the party.
I'm not going to ask you again. Please, please come with me.
Your subjects are waiting, my queen.
Fine, then at least let me give you a ride home. That shortcut's creepy in the dark.
I have some work to finish. I'll be fine.
You know, you might accidentally walk through one of those doors into the underworld.
I'll never have to worry about my sad social life again.
No. Fine. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Okay, cowboy. Time to call it a night. Who is it? Who's there?
Very funny. Hey, tell Samantha nice try, but it won't work.
The door to the underworld has been opened, and Wayne's dream becomes a nightmare.
Just a small fantasy.
The conclusion of Fulfilled when Exposure's Deadtime stories continue. Now the ghostly, or should it be ghastly conclusion of Fulfilled.
Night, Ichabod. Every day would help.
From Carmel, California, here is director Stacy Arnold.
I've been wanting to do a Halloween movie, and I was talking to a friend of mine who does special effects makeup. I was telling him about a scarecrow creature that I had in mind, and he showed me this really creepy mask that he had made based on a dream he'd had, and it just clicked. I have a lot of Halloween toys. I think my friends think I'm nuts, but in my apartment, every day is Halloween.
Next, Satan's taking aim at your soul. And later, a little boy wants to be a horror film legend in Tim Burton's Vincent, when Exposure's Deadtime stories continue. Now, Exposure's Deadtime stories continue with host Lisa Marie.
Time to ride shotgun with Halloween's hottest celebrity. In our next short film, Satan's got the pedal to the metal out on the highway to hell, and he's ready to strike. Strap yourself in and turn up your TV for what director Oliver Wolfson hopes will be the loudest animated short film you'll ever see.
Since the age of 10, director Oliver Wolfson has lived Halloween 365 days a year. He's created a trendy clothing line and has designed video games. Wolfson joined forces with Tim Coleman to form Super Genius Animation. Their plan is to deliver crazy, over-the-top animation like Bowling for Souls to the masses. From Sierra Bowl in Daly City, California, director Oliver Wolfson and animator Tim Coleman.
I had done some stuff with Satan, with illustration, and then Oliver had done some too, and we kind of met up and we said, hey, you know, we've got a lot of crossover here, so we kind of teamed up and tackled this.
He's satanic too.
The key to bowling is all in the Aussie grip. I love bowling.
Bowling is inherently evil. If you notice, when you grip a bowling ball, you have to do the sign of the devil. So all you bowlers out there, you better watch out. You'll see what happens. When I was a kid, Halloween was 365 days a year, definitely. So I was in a monster makeup. I remember one thing we used to do was make bullet holes, gash wounds, etc. with liquid latex, and we'd lay out in the middle of the road and wait for people to come and run when they got out. The paramedics came, you know. So, kind of a creative type as a kid.
Happy times.
Happy times, yeah.
Next, Tim Burton and his Halloween staple, Vincent, when Exposure's Deadtime stories continue. Now, Exposure's Deadtime stories continue with host Lisa Marie.
Almost 20 years ago, Tim Burton contacted Vincent Price about a film he wanted to do about a little boy who wants to be just like Vincent Price. The roots of Burton's early Gothic style can be found in Vincent.
The collaboration between Tim Burton and Rick Heinrichs began when they both worked as designers on Walt Disney Studios' The Black Cauldron back in 1982. There they created Vincent, which Burton directed and Heinrichs produced and designed. Feature films followed, including Beetlejuice and Sleepy Hollow. Their latest team-up was on the blockbuster Planet of the Apes.
Vincent Malloy is 7 years old. He's always polite and does what he's told. For a boy his age, he's considerate and nice. But he wants to be just like Vincent Price. He doesn't mind living with his sister, dog, and cats, though he'd rather share a home with spiders and bats. There he could reflect on the horrors he's invented and wander dark hallways alone and tormented. Vincent is nice when his aunt comes to see him, but imagines dipping her in wax for his wax museum. He likes to experiment on his dog, Abercrombie, in the hopes of creating a horrible zombie. So he and his horrible zombie dog could go searching for victims in the London fog. His thoughts, though, aren't only of ghoulish crime. He likes to paint and read to pass some of the time. While other kids read books like Go, Jane, Go, Vincent's favorite author is Edgar Allan Poe. One night, while reading a gruesome tale, he read a passage that made him turn pale. Such horrible news he could not survive, for his beautiful wife had been buried alive. He dug out her grave to make sure she was dead, unaware that her grave was his mother's flower bed. His mother sent Vincent off to his room. He knew he'd been banished to the Tower of Doom, where he was sentenced to spend the rest of his life alone with the portrait of his beautiful wife. While alone and insane, encased in his tomb, Vincent's mother burst suddenly into the room. She said, "If you want to, you can go out and play. It's sunny outside and a beautiful day." Vincent tried to talk, but he just couldn't speak. The years of isolation had made him quite weak. So he took out some paper and scrawled with a pen, "I am possessed by this house and can never leave it again." His mother said, "You're not possessed and you're not almost dead. These games that you play are all in your head. You're not Vincent Price, you're Vincent Malloy. You're not tormented or insane, you're just a young boy. You're 7 years old and you are my son. I want you to get outside and have some real fun. Her anger now spent, she walked out through the hall. And while Vincent backed slowly against the wall, the room started to sway, to shiver and creak. His horrid insanity had reached its peak. He saw Abercrombie, his zombie slave, and heard his wife call from beyond the grave. She spoke from her coffin and made ghoulish demands, while through cracking walls reached skeleton hands. Every horror in his life that had crept through his dreams swept his mantle after to terrified screams. To escape the madness, he reached for the door, but fell limp and lifeless down on the floor. His voice was soft and very slow as he quoted The Raven from Edgar Allan Poe. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
From the Chateau Marmont, here are Tim Burton and host Lisa Marie.
Let's talk about Rick Heinrichs and your collaboration with Rick.
Well, I've known Rick since Cal Arts, you know, and then at Disney. They kind of put us together. Rick was an amazing sculptor, is an amazing sculptor. So, you know, they kind of teamed us together early on as, like, you know, I do drawings, and then we were working on projects that I would do the drawings, and then he would make sculptures.
At that time, I was doing sculptures kind of from Tim's work to help show that the powers that be at Disney, that his work was in fact dimensional and could work in a Disney film. Mind you, they never ended up using it in that particular film, but it did kind of spark a collaboration between the two of us.
I had this little, I thought of Vincent basically as a children's book. You know, it was based on sort of my feelings and about just things, and wrote it out as like a children's book.
Almost like a bedtime story that he had written about a little boy who fantasized that he's Vincent Price. And I suggested to Tom Wilhite at Disney that we actually make it into a film. For some reason, he said yes.
They let us do this a little film to sort of, as the idea of a test, you know, I mean, as a way to shove the cost off and justify it. So they gave us a little money and the freedom to make the film, and I sent the book to Vincent, and I'd never met him before, and I got this wonderful letter back, and it was amazing because, you know, this is a person who I grew up watching, you know, and had a response to, and then, you know, he turns out to be like an amazing, great, you know, like I felt like he wasn't treating it like it was just a fan. He was treating it like he got it, you know? And that always meant something to me.
I'm Lisa Marie. Tonight was a real treat. I hope you had a ghoulishly good time. Join me next week for Sci-Fi short film series, Exposure. Happy Halloween.